Today is November 14th, 2016. My name is Brenda Dwyer. I am a student in the Bachelor of Arts program with College for America at Southern New Hampshire University, and I am conducting this interview as part of my academic work. I will record this interview and use the information in an article I am writing for a research project. The article and the recorded interview will be submitted to College for America so that my work as an interviewer/writer can be evaluated. This recording will be used solely for this purpose. The interview information will temporarily be stored in the College for America online evaluation system, to which only the evaluator and the College for America staff will have access. Do you have any questions?
No.
Do you give your consent to be recorded for this interview?
Yes. I, Patty, give my informed consent to participate in this interview to be recorded and used as part of the student's academic evaluation.
Thank you, Patty. So, can you tell me a little bit about where you work?
It's a family-owned pizza place in a small town in New Hampshire. I work there about 4 nights a week. It's owned by a mother and her 2 daughters, and I've been a family friend working there for years.
Can you tell me, Patty, do you know how they raised the capital to be able to open this business, to have this business working for them? And how long have they been in business?
They've been at this particular site for 17 years, but they've owned pizza places for the last 35 years. And I do know that they got their money from family money to help them open up the business. It was from the woman who runs it. It was from her parents that gave her and her first husband money to buy their first pizza place. And then once she got divorced from her husband, they had to split the pizza place, and so she left it. They sold it, and she left that first one, and then she went and bought a second one with the money from the first pizza restaurant. But initially, the money came from her parents.
So they never took out any type of small business loan from a bank, or do you know if they put up their home for any type of collateral?
No, they never took out any money for, to get a loan for it, and they have never used it for collateral.
Okay, so can you tell me, does the entire family participate in the business, or is it just the mother that's working it, or how does that work?
Well, they're open 6 days a week. They used to be 7 days a week until the daughters convinced their mother that they needed, and we all needed a break. So they're open 6 days a week, and the mother and her oldest daughter work there 6 days a week. They work from about 11 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. That's Monday through Saturday. And then myself and her younger daughter, we usually work from like 4 to about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And also the younger daughter has a son, and the son also spends quite a good amount of time at the pizza place. It's his second home. There's like toys set up for him because he's only in the 3rd grade. So there's toys set up for him so that he hangs out in the back room. And apparently, according to the woman's 2 daughters, that's how they grew up. They grew up also working, hanging out in the back. And then when they were 16, they started to work there as well.
Right. So you would say this is definitely a family business if they're already getting the young son going and hanging out there after school, and to him it's almost his way of life, being in the pizza place, working on homework and being there with mom and aunts and grandma.
Exactly, yeah. And they even have a cousin that comes in and works a couple of nights when, like a Friday or Saturday night when it's really busy. They have an older cousin that comes in and she works, and she had also owned a pizza place. But when she got divorced, her husband took it and she went in to do something else, but she still helps out.
Do you know, is it very profitable? Does the family draw a salary? Do they each get a paycheck, or is it something where they're still operating to break even, or they're operating at a loss, or are they making a decent profit on it?
They make a huge profit on it. The daughters get paychecks, and I don't know what the mother does, but they are, very, very comfortable, very well off. They, close down for the whole month of July in the summer because they take a vacation. And then they close periodically for a couple of weeks throughout the year to take some pretty nice vacations.
Wow, that's great. Well, that's great that it's a very profitable business. Do they ever take the money or some of their profits to invest back into the business to keep, I would assume they have to have pizza ovens and refrigerators and things like that. Do they ever use some of that money they're making to upgrade their fixed assets, which would be their refrigerators and pizza ovens and things like that?
Well, they rent. They don't own the building that they're in, so they rent. So anything that needs to be like structure-wise is given over to the person who owns the building. But they do buy. I think about 4 years ago, they bought a huge Big Bertha oven that they called. That was a huge investment, but it helped more space for the pizzas. They had a smaller one in the beginning, and so this bigger one is. They can fit more pizza in, and so it helps with their production.
Right.
And they've also added like another counter for the sandwich shop, to make the subs. So they just added that recently. So they do take some of the money and put it back into.
So by putting some of that money back into the business, they're obviously generating more money, because if they were able to buy bigger ovens and things like that, they're obviously generating more pizza and they're able to put more out as their product.
Yes.
So obviously it's a very family-oriented business, and you mentioned that family works there. Do they have any outside help, people that aren't related to them that come in to help out?
Yeah, they do, because they are in an area where there's 4 towns. And it's kind of rural. They hire usually high school and college kids to work and do deliveries. So she will have like 1 or 2 teenagers working there to run the deliveries, which delivery is huge for them. They'll run the deliveries, and then they have someone in there that they train to just kind of like do cleaning up and washing the dishes and knowing what to stock in the refrigerators and stocking the soda and stuff like that, and the chips.
Right.
And they have a pretty high turnaround on that, because the kids will like work, and they'll make tips for the delivery, and sometimes they'll walk away on a Friday night with like $60, and that's to a 16, 17-year-old, that's huge.
Right.
But then they also want to go out at night on a Friday and Saturday night, so they do run through a lot of kids. It's a high turnover for that part of it.
Right. Do they pay minimum wage, or do they pay more than minimum wage?
I believe she pays more than minimum wage an hour. I think it's $8 an hour.
Okay.
Plus what the
tips.
make for the tips.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's not bad. What do they do as far as advertising? Do they get on social media to advertise? Do they do any type of advertising like that, or is it mostly word of mouth? What?
They do a flyer. They've done like flyers in the past, and that's been really good advertising for them. But it's mainly word of mouth.
Really?
Legit, it is like mainly word of mouth that they do all their business, and they have a regular customer base, and then they have people who come in and say, so and so said you guys were really good, I'm going to try you, and then they get more
become
business
right.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like it's a business where they would ever need to look into something like a crowdfunding site like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, where if there was a project they wanted to fund, they could put that out to the public. It's pretty well known that those type of crowdfunding sites are not only a great place to raise money for a business, but also a great way to advertise, because it just gets the word out. So do you think that's something that business would ever look into?
I don't think so, because I think that they have pretty much all the money that they need.
Right. So they're very profitable.
Right. It's a gold mine. That's what they always say too. It's a gold mine. And I mean, they don't do Facebook. There was, if you Google their establishment, there's reviews under Yelp.
Mhm.
You know, people say great things about it. So
Right,
it's like
right.
that's not any money that they put in.
Right,
It's
right.
just, you know, people who have done that. But no, I can't see them going out on social media and doing
Right. Wow. So they're basically more of an old school type of money came from the family, and it's a
Yes.
family run business.
Yes, and you know they work hard. They have been in the country. You know their grandparents immigrated to the country, and they're hard workers. And you know, like everyone in their extended family, there's a lot of them that own pizza places.
Right, right. Wow. Well, it sounds like it's a great business.
Yes, it is, and they know how to run it, and they do a great job taking care of their customers and making sure everybody is, you know, kept happy and fed.
Right.
And
That's
they
great.
take it very seriously. You know, snowstorms. They hate when they go away. They want to make sure that it's covered because they don't like to disappoint their
Right.
customers.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, it's that's their life, that's
Yes.
their life savings, that's their legacy, and
Exactly.
they need to keep it for their family.
And the older daughter, that's all she's ever done is work there.
In the
She
family
did not
business,
go to
right.
college. Yeah, she just has, you know, and she does like a lot of the bookkeeping and the ordering and receiving and all that stuff. So you know, that's all she knows.
Wow.
The younger daughter is a professional. She went off and you know has a professional job during the day, and then she helps out at night.
Wow. Well, are there any questions you want to ask me?
Nope. Does it cost money to do those funds pages?
No, Kickstarter is what you would have to do is you create a project and then you create a video on your project and you submit it to Kickstarter. And there's a team that decides whether or not your project is something that they would back. And then
It's actually pretty cool.
it's a very interesting concept. And then anybody, it goes up on Kickstarter's website, and anybody, you have 30 days to reach the goal that you're looking for. If you don't reach that goal in 30 days, then the money goes back to the people that were pledging. If you do reach the goal, and oftentimes in my research, I found that most Kickstarter projects exceed their goal. And I believe Kickstarter takes a small fee of whatever it is that was raised, and then the rest of the money goes to you for your project.
So who are these people that support the project? Is it just
Anybody,
individuals
it's
that want to
anybody,
give
it's
money?
right. It's you or I or anybody that goes onto this Kickstarter program.
And do we have any stake in it or not?
It's interesting that you asked that because there are two different types. There are just the reward type of crowdfunding, and then there's the equity type of crowdfunding. So the reward type of crowdfunding is basically if you give, there's different levels. If you give $10, $20, $30, whatever, you could get either a free appetizer, let's say somebody's opening a restaurant, or a dinner for two.
Oh.
Whereas an equity crowdfunding source would be you get a small share of the company, and then once the company reaches a certain level, you get paid out in either your shares or that money back.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And it's also a great way because you're advertising your business at the same time because people are seeing your video.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Huh, yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, well, I thank you very much for your time, and if there's anything you need in the future, please don't hesitate to contact me.